What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your boy Domuto. We are back with another video. Today we're watching UnrealEntGaming Beyond Dragon Ball Super. Demon Black Frieza emerges as the final Dark Master. Toro arrives for battle. Wait, emerges as the final Dark Master? Okay. Yeah, this should be a good one, man. If y'all hear like the fan in the background, look, it's about 100. It's like 100 where I'm at right now. It's like 100. So it's hot. It's hot. So, but we will get into it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let go.
As our story now continues back inside of the demon realm with the elite demon Mechimyro now shown having to go head to head after being impaled by none other than the newly fused Saiyan known as Brohan, to which it was only just moments before Brohan had gone as far as to unleash a very devastating attack while holding on to Mechimyro's arm was when Brohan then went on to address Mechimyro by responding, "This was what you wanted now, wasn't it? Well, you better be ready for what it is that you are about to go and wish for, because I am about to go and give you everything that you've been wanting to go and get out of us, along with going and giving you a little
He need to go all out for this nigga?
on top of the fact," Brohan says, "because what I'm about to go and unleash here against you won't be something that you will be strong enough to go and survive, no matter how durable your metal may be, demon." What are you doing, Saiyan? Are you completely insane? For there is no possible way that you will find yourself in having to go and survive this if you truly decide to go through with such a thing, as you will only end up destroying yourself in the process if you do, and so what are you doing? Don't be a fool, as you won't be successful no matter how hard it is that you try, and so don't you dare go and do it, Saiyan. But then, it was only from within these very moments now where Brohan had in fact decided to go and do this, because as soon as Brohan was shown having to unleash a gigantic explosive wave barrier attack that went on to completely shred Mechimyro whole was when the demon scientist Sugami went on to observe this by then responding, "What an uncontrollably dangerous and violent situation that this has now turned into. For it was a mistake in having us go and drag these warriors into our domain like this, for we mustn't go and allow for their efforts to chip away at our armor, but we may not be left with any other choice here than to go and do what we need to if we hope to go and continue to wage this war against these mortals, and especially if we hope to do this without having to go and lose any more of our soldiers within the process. For the merge Saiyan appears to be far too powerful for either one of us to go and engage with like this, and because we cannot go and continue to let our chances of victory slip through our fingertips, I will need to go and hurry and make my escape back to my laboratory now before it's too." But then, it was only from out of nowhere with Orange Piccolo now being shown having to grab hold of Sugami right before having to be shown having to throw him directly into Brohan's oncoming attack was when Piccolo went on to then quickly respond, No, you don't, and just where exactly do you think you're crawling
Okay, good
off
shit,
to,
Piccolo.
demon? As I never said that we were done, because you and I have a little bit of unfinished business to settle here, and since you were so confident in having to go and make the bold claim that you and your legion of monsters were going to win, Piccolo continues, it's time that someone goes and gives you a very painful reminder and having you go and understand that no matter what you demons go and try to do in hopes of attempting to break our spirits in this battle, understand
You're not going
that
to,
you won't
bitch.
win. And so now let this hereby serve in letting this be the wake-up call that you had just so desperately needed, for you will never be strong enough in finishing your sinister mission, no matter how hard both yourself and your demon legion go and try to change that. And since your plan was to go and annihilate us all in the name of having to go and purge all those whom you had deemed to pose a threat to your worthless kingdom, how's about we go and take this moment and having to go and change that, for this is what you get for ever daring to go and think that you could ever go and get away with everything it was that you had went and done, Piccolo says, to which as Piccolo was then shown having to throw Sugami directly into Brohan's attack was when Piccolo then went on to continue, "There we go, and so maybe now you will learn the hard way in the afterlife by having you understand that no matter what you and your legion of experiments go and try to do to us, We will never going back down no matter how overwhelming the odds appear to be in having them be stacked against our favor, demon. For
Damn.
this is what you get, and so now do yourself a favor and don't ever plan on coming back if you know what's good for you. To which, as Beerus was shown having to oversee this from above, it would only now appear as though Beerus seems to be
Well, my
very
shit's
happy
sharp
in
than
the
a
fact
bitch.
that all of these demons are now starting to fall
My
one by
bad.
one, as Beerus went on to then quickly respond, yes, good, very good indeed, for it's about time that we start making progress around here and putting those little deranged creatures where they rightfully belong. And with that newly formed fusion and having to now set the standard down there and watching them go and garner everyone's attention by unleashing the full scale of their seemingly bottomless power, Beerus continues, and it'll only be a matter of time from this point onwards where those demons are going to be destroyed. I wouldn't be so quick to go and celebrate so soon if I were you, God of Destruction, Jogo went on to then appear from behind by responding, and that is simply because so as long as we, the Dark Masters, are able to go and siphon off our power and using the Demon Realm's very essence as an extension to our very core, I am going to go and drain you of every last drop of energy that I can possibly go and get my hands on, and redirecting this very force against you and having it be what eradicates you, Destroyer. Why, you sneaky little rodents, as if I'm actually going to go and be foolish enough in allowing for you to go and steal my energy the way you were trying to. Will this ultimately result in what will inevitably backfire upon you, because deep down at your very core, Beerus continues, you know for this to be the truth, you cowardly little demon. With Jogo responding, nonsense, Destroyer, for you alongside the rest of your allies will be devoured and hereby destroyed. What is this? For my body and my energy consumption technique, I can't seem to be able to move, but how?
Okay, Vegeta.
What did you go on to just do, God of Destruction? As Vegeta went on to then yell at Beerus from below by then quickly responding, Lord Beerus, hurry and go and take this chance to go and make use of the little time that we have in having to go and freeze him in place, as I can't go and hold him in place like this forever. And so you'll need to go and hurry, and so now never mind the formality on how or why, but let's just hurry and make use of this moment while we still can, Vegeta continues. And only from here having to go and dispose of these monsters so we can hurry and go and reach their demon god Raijin before it's too late and having us go and find him down here. To which, of course, this was exactly what Beerus had gone as far as to do, because with Beerus now being shown having to completely impale Jogo just before having to toss him down below, was when Beerus then went on to quickly respond, yes, of
Okay,
course.
Vegeta doing some.
That
nigga Vegeta got a bag.
Demon. Yes, what was it? Something about having to go and devour my energy and going and using it against me now, was it? Well, I, on the other hand, have a better idea. And since you appear to be stuck within your vile ways and having to go and assume that stealing my energy was going to be as easy as taking a walk, Beerus continues upon now being shown throwing Jogo directly down towards Brohan's attack. Let's just go and have a see on exactly how much force your body could hold out against before it starts to crumble and shatter within itself. And from there going and watching you be consumed by the very powers which you were seeking to go and devour, demon. And so I want for you to go and remember my face here, demon, as this is going to be the last face that your miserable eyes will ever get the chance in having to see. And so now, good riddance. To which, as Beerus was then shown completely having to destroy Jogo, was when Beerus then went on to quickly continue. And here you thought yourself as being worthy enough in having to go and challenge a god of destruction all on your own like this. Well, good riddance to both you and your remaining demon legion. To which, as Vegeta was then shown smiling and having to look up, was when Vegeta went on to then quickly respond, yes, good. So that makes two, and with only two more of these so-called Dark Masters that remain, once we go and get rid of them, will they only leave that bastard Raijin all by himself, and that's when we'll go and make our Vegeta get down. Goku then went on to quickly save Vegeta by responding, for he nearly had went and sliced you in half just now, and so we'll need to go and be careful, with Bakar then having to quickly respond, why, you little worm, as each and every single time I seem to target one of you, the other is always there to go and make the save, which is really starting to go and get under my skin here, Saiyans. As I have grown very sick and constantly having to go and witness both you alongside your troublesome little universe go and attempt to try to prevent what was already set in stone long before you were even alive and having to go and see it all for yourselves, and since I cannot go and allow for either one of you to try and escape me, in the name of all that we have strived to go and create, and in the name of our one and only true God King Lord Raijin, your flesh will be torn in two and your souls will be ripped away, as I will now reveal to you the very nature that lies deep within me, Saiyans. And so now brace yourselves and prepare to go and meet your end. But then, it was only shockingly enough now from out of nowhere, with a mysterious energy blast being shown having to pierce directly behind Bakara's back and having to be shown going right through him, was when Goku then went on to quickly respond, whoa, what in the world?
Frieza.
Where the heck did that just fly in from out of nowhere like that? As that couldn't have been any of the others now, was it? With Vegeta responding, no, it couldn't have been any of the others, because the others all appeared to be preoccupied within the moment, Vegeta says. And so now, if this attack didn't just so happen to come from any one of our allies that are fighting alongside with us within the demon realm here, Vegeta continues, then there is only one other person whose very attacks are identical to the ones that are being fired upon right now, as it would only now appear as though he's here with us, Kakarot. To which, unfortunately enough for our heroes, now Vegeta was in fact actually correct, because it was only from within this very moment now, from out of nowhere, with Frieza now being shown having to make his presence.
I forgot Frieza got corrupted.
Frieza went on to then quickly respond, you know, I must say that I'm honestly quite surprised that you weren't able to go and sense me coming, despite with this battle that you were shown in having to go and wage here against these monkeys and having it go and be a difficult one. But I suppose that your obsession with theatrics has clouded your perception here, and so what a shame, Frieza says. And here I expected more from one of Raijin's so-called mightiest Dark Masters, but I suppose that even shadows can be outshined when having to be left and facing off against a far more violent force, and because of this, Frieza continues, I believe it's time that a new empire is to be established here within the demon realm, an empire that is ruled by a true leader, as I do happen to believe that you and your allies here have served your purpose well, but unfortunately enough will no longer be needed, Demon Black Frieza went on to then continue. And so now ask yourself, Demon, for did you honestly believe that I would truly go and bow my head in pledging my loyalty and having to go and serve under someone else? Because the very idea of having me go and do that is, well, not only extremely insulting to me, but it's also very disrespectful, Frieza continues. And since your mighty supreme leader was so kind enough as to go and grant me a new dark and twisted power to go and operate with,
go
and do just as he had instructed of me, just because he was foolish enough to go and trust me with such strength doesn't mean that I will go and do exactly as he says, because I, on the other hand, have other plans that I very much look forward to attend to, Frieza says. But then of course we have the two of you. Oh, what's wrong now? Don't tell me that you monkeys are surprised to go and see me here now, are you? For I can now begin to see the disappointment that lies within your very eyes, but don't tell me that you truly thought that I would go and align myself with such creatures, because you should know better than anyone that I didn't just go and claw my way back out of an oblivion again just to become someone else's instrument of destruction here. And as this in and of itself couldn't be further from the truth, which the two of you should already be well aware of by now, and if you monkeys were going to go and fall to anyone, Frieza continues, then you should already be well aware in knowing the fact that fate has already reserved that title for me to have, have a very long time ago. And so without having us go and waste any more of our time here, Frieza continues, why don't we go and finish what we had started a very long time ago, and that is by allowing for us to go and put an end to our long, troublesome history for good, in having us go and finally settle the score here between us once and for all. And as I also want to go and promise you monkeys here that this will not be as easy of a challenge for you to overcome as one might assume for this to be, and so shall we?
Oh, shit.
And don't you go and worry yourself here either, my fellow demon. Frieza went on to acknowledge Bakara by responding, for I will also go on to ensure that you are all ready to go and be dealt with before I go and take my revenge and having to go and slaughter these two worthless monkeys in the meantime. And so don't you worry, because I didn't go on to forget about the rest of you here either, demon, with Bakara responding, why, you rotten, low-down, bottom-feeding coward, how dare you go and raise your arm against our legion and having you go and attempt to strike me down like this, you fool, you loathsome traitor. For do you truly think that this is over, that your sudden and pathetic surprise attack will be enough in what brings you victory here, Bakara questions? Because not only have you went and started a war here between us that you cannot possibly hope to go and finish all on your own, but now that I can see that you are hereby a far bigger problem for us than these Saiyans are, I am going to go and make sure to see to it that you are destroyed first before we are to go and resume our mission in wiping out these Saiyans in the meantime, Frieza. Well,
shit.
I must honestly say that I do in fact admire your willingness to go and follow your precious little orders and doing what you must in order to go and get rid of me, demon. However, you and I both know that you will not be so lucky in going and getting in the way of my
This
plans.
nigga Frieza, bro, he always come out of nowhere with some bullshit.
Shown in having to go and take from me, and as I just want for you to know that I didn't go and betray you demons here, but instead you could say that I had simply evolved beyond you all, which is why I am standing and you are not, Frieza continues. And so now what do you say we go and put our differences to rest here, because I have some unfinished business with those monkeys that I need to go and attend to right now, which I am just eagerly waiting for. And so now shall we, with Goku then having to address Vegeta by then responding, oh darn it, he's leaving us with no other choice here, and so we'll need to hurry and do what we need to do if Frieza decides to go and target us next here, Vegeta. And that is simply because not only does he look and sound serious about what it is that he is after here, Goku continues, but if we are to go and take our eyes off of him even for just a moment, then this entire situation could end up turning bad for us, which is why we'll need to go and attack him before he goes and decides to attack us, Vegeta, with Vegeta responding, oh, this is just great, as if fighting these demons alongside your leaders wasn't enough, because now we're stuck in having to go and deal with Frieza now here too. Oh, damn it all. Well, hold your ground in the meantime, as we'll go on my signal then, Kakarot, to which as Bakara was then shown quickly having to address Frieza was when Bakara then went on to quickly respond, wait a minute now, and just what do you think you're doing, Frieza? For I am your superior, and as your commanding superior, I order for you in the name of Lord Raijin to go and stand down right now, or you will be destroyed. Well, I hate to go and burst your bubble here, but sorry, Commander, for it's as I had mentioned to you earlier, Frieza says, as I am not really the type to go and take orders from just anyone here, demon, and if you claim to be my commanding superior, Frieza continues upon then suddenly being shown having to completely slice Bakara in half, then how's about we go and help relinquish that little title of yours and
this nigga
handing it
Frieza,
over
bro.
to a
Frieza
far
always
more
fucking some shit up.
deserving contender, as both you alongside your services here will no longer be needed from this moment onwards, demon. And so now thanks for the suggestion, but I think that I will just politely decline your frivolous little offer here instead. And so now this is what you get. To which, as both Goku and Vegeta were then shown quickly having to charge directly at Frieza, was when Vegeta went on to then quickly shout, "Oh damn it all, let's go Kakarot, for now's our chance to go and rush in and take him before he winds up in having to go and make matters worse for us here, and so now let's hurry," with Frieza then having to be shown quickly responding, "Ah yes, and there the two monkeys go, just as I knew that they would, and so come now."
Yeah, quick with
For
that.
I do in fact actually welcome this challenge more than you can possibly know, Frieza continues. And as of course you can both see, I am quite pleased with the results of what was given on to me by that wretched demon god Raijin of theirs. For I had went and played the part of a humble tyrant in seeking purpose quite convincingly, as a matter of fact, Frieza continues. And since I am acting on my own accord, I just want for you both to know that you and I are far from finished with where it was that we had started. And just like I had mentioned when we had battled against that rotten angel Murno before, I will have my revenge no matter how far I will need to go in order for me to go and claim it. And that is simply because I already won the very moment I had went and deceived that demon god Raijin. But once I am done with the two of you here, then that miserable, disgusting lord of the underworld Raijin that these worms here continue to worship down here will be next, monkeys. But unlike him, the two of you actually represent everything that I despise when I think about how far I've come. And as despite with your sense of hope, your resistance, and worst of all, your seemingly limitless monkey potential, Frieza continues, what you are looking at right now is the one true God King among them all, as no amount of collective attacks from either one of you or those demons is going to be enough to go and change that, Frieza says.
Shit.
And after I am done in having to go and obliterate you all, will I only then see to it in hunting down Raijin across the entire multiverse if I need to. And as once I go and find him, if he isn't already on that mountain of his, I am going to go and break every bone within his body, and as well as going as far as to drain every ounce of his divine essence that I can, for the demon realm will later come to find themselves in having to go and bend their knees to my will. And otherwise, of course, they will all simply perish within the process. And that very throne which their leader currently sits within, Frieza says, is going to be something where everyone will later come to find a new occupant within its place, and the very name of that occupant that is going to be sitting within that throne is going to be none other than Lord Frieza, you filthy monkeys. But why do you still go and choose to submit yourself over to Raijin if you know that deep down you aren't going to be strong enough to beat him, even if you manage to somehow go and find a way to bypass the two of us, Goku questions? And that is simply because without our aid here against that beast, you aren't going to go and stand a chance whether you are given a stronger level of power to go and wield here or not, Frieza, with Frieza responding, "Well, it's actually quite simple as a matter of fact, you small-minded knuckle-dragging monkey, but I
Knuckle-dragging monkeys.
past you to not go and use
That's
whatever
crazy.
goals you have left up there," Frieza continues, because while I know that Raijin may in fact be far stronger than how I am within the moment, Demon Black Frieza says, I instead plan on going and getting my hands on those cubes that he appears to so desperately be after, Frieza says. And as once I am
Raijin
able
about to
to
kill
go and
Frieza.
obtain these very cubes for myself, will I only then be able to go and peer into the unknown, which Raijin kept going on and on about, because simply put, if there is in fact a far more complex world out there in this omniverse with an ecosystem that is far larger than the current one that we exist here within the moment, then I plan on having to go and rule over all of it myself, because just like you, my power can also continuously grow and having it evolve just as frequently as yours does, Saiyan. And very soon, if in fact what that Raijin had went and said is to be taken and having it be true, Frieza continues, then there will be no remaining force within this entire multiverse who will go and stop me from claiming it all to myself, and going as far as to obtain a power that goes far beyond Raigen's and having it be what rules over everything. But then, it was only from within these very moments now, from out of nowhere, unbeknownst to Frieza, as Vegeta had gone as far as to notice someone rapidly making their way ever so closer towards them, was when Vegeta went on to then quickly respond, "So curse you, Frieza? Wait a second, Kakarot's there. Do you see it? For whatever that is, only appears to be closing in
Frieza
from
done
right
fucked up now.
behind him,
They got some
now
comp.
watch it." But then, it was only from within this very moment now, unbeknownst and shockingly enough to everyone there, as the strongest and final leading member of the Dark Masters, Toro, was then shown having to quickly make his way in before having to be shown having to elbow Frieza directly in the face, was when Toro went on to then quickly respond, "Why, you disgusting, insolent little traitorous worm! And to think that you would go and cast aside the sacred allegiance that you had went and sworn to the demon realm and had sworn to Raijin himself so easily, and is ultimately going to be one fatal mistake that I am going to make you go and pay dearly for, Frieza. And it's because of what you had did in having you be nothing more than a parasite to our cause by allowing for someone like yourself to go and feed off of the very source of our power down here," Toro continues, "will no longer go and stand, so as long as I am here to go and see to it that you are to go and fail in your mission to go and continue with your resistance, Frieza," with Vegeta responding, "Oh, well, that's just great, and just who the heck is this one, and why is he so much bigger and meaner looking than the last demon was?" Vegeta questions, as surely this one here must be the second in command around here then, right? With Goku responding, "Oh yeah, well, you're right about that one, because that one there, from what I can remember about him," Goku says, "is the leader of those Dark Masters and the strongest one among them all, who is only said to be second to Raijin in status down here within the demon realm, but our mission is a clear one here," Vegeta Goku says, "for it only now looks as though that both you and I are going to have to try and fight our way and having to go past these two if we hope
Well,
to
let them
go
fight
and
each
make
other,
it out
nigga.
and having to go and find Whis and aiding him against that demon god Raijin. And so if that's what we're going to be left and having to be tasked with," Goku continues, "we'll need to go and hurry and try to cast any doubts that we may have aside for this one here, and that is simply because one way or another, with Toro now having to be there alongside with Frieza, we aren't going to be progressing our way out of this one until each of them have been beaten. And so I will need for you to go and stand ready here next to me, because this is going to be it here, Vegeta," as Toro went on to address Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza by pointing out towards Frieza by then quickly responding, "Why, you treacherous little annoying mortal scum, for not only have I grown extremely tired and having to slowly watch as you continuously attempt to go and ruin Lord Raijin's master plan in attempting to go and stand in the way of having him go and complete his ultimate mission, but now that I have watched as both you and your kind have leveled the demon realm and having you purge it of some of its best and mightiest warriors," Toro continues, "including by watching and having to go and see you do away with several of my Dark Masters on top of the fact, from this very moment onwards, not only am I going to be what stands in being your final opponent," Toro says, "but whether you choose to go and fight against one another, or if you go and choose to all stand in unity by having you all fight me at once, I am going to go and see to it that you are all going to be destroyed, and especially you for stabbing Lord Raijin in the back after having him go and give you a second chance at life, you animal. As in the end, once I have went and had completely annihilated you from the face of our world and had buried your soul beneath the weight of my full and unrivaled power, I will only then go on to offer your ashes to Lord Raijin as an offering on my behalf, and having your destruction be the example and the proof that I need, in going as far as to remind the entire cosmos that there will be no betrayal that will go unanswered, Frieza, and so mark my words," with Frieza responding, well, so the second in command and the leader of the demon army himself has finally decided to come and join us now, has he? Well, as surprised as I am to see that you actually do in fact pack quite a heavy hand there when having to go and find yourself in the heat of combat such as this one, I do, however, Frieza continues, strongly have to go and disagree with your little assessment here, Toro. And that is simply because not only are you going to fail in watching you fall just as hard as your fellow Dark Master Bakara was seen in having to go and fall in battle here against me, but on top of all of this, Frieza continues, and I can't honestly help but go and think of any other moment here that is greater than this one here between us, Frieza continues, and finally having to go and settle the score between our parties, as I in fact had been waiting a very long time for this moment here between us, and so whenever either one of you are ready, Frieza says, then let us proceed in having us go and continue, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Murno sequel, manga chapter number 46 special, then comes to a close.
Man. This is a good one. Frieza done pulled up. I don't even know what's going to happen on the next one. I don't even know what's going to happen on the next one, man. I don't even. It's going to be a good one. This is a good story. This is getting better and better. It was very, very slow, and I'm glad it's getting better. And I probably said that in the last one, but shout out to UnrealEntGaming for this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out the last chapter right here. Check out another video you might like right here. And I'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.